How can you make sure you can keep your clients? This is what you have to do. So once you get your client, you're all hyped up, you're just super excited to like get that check or whatever, you want to help them, things like that. So one of the biggest things you have to need to understand is they can leave. Like if you're not providing them results, they can leave like unannounced, like unless you actually have a contract with them, they can go off and leave. So just a couple of tips to make sure to use so you can actually have the peace of mind in order to keep them. So the biggest part of having a client is giving them results. So results can be a number of things like Facebook ads, just like being there and things like that. So I'm just going to write down some tips. So number one tips is I feel is being there. You might be like, what do you mean by that? Which is a good question. So what I mean by that is most of these agencies really don't care about their clients. So in order to just have that extra step, what I would recommend is like emailing them. So what I do is I give them like weekly emails, just like, hey, this is what I've been working on this week. This is what I'm going to be working on next week. So email updates is a huge part. Being able to give them timelines. I say that a lot in a lot of my videos. Timelines are super important just so they know and they understand what you'll be working on that specific month. So emailing them, texting them, calling them, texting, a number of ways of just like being there for them, because like a huge part, like a lot of these people don't know what you're doing. They don't know like what you're working on because you're not there. So in order to have that extra step above the competition, you want to be able to just go the extra mile and email them updates, send them like text messages like, hey, we just reached 5,000 people with this ad. Congrats. I can't wait to see the results that next month is going to bring for you. Just like little things like that will just help them out a lot in understanding what you're doing. So being there is super important. And then results is the next part. If you're not bringing a client results, if you don't fully understand advertising and marketing and giving them results, you're gonna lose them. Like the biggest part of having an agency is actually doing it right. Like you can't be just selling people, be like, you can be a really good seller and sell people, but you're not gonna be able to retain them because you don't have the results, you know what I mean? So being able to give them, like having experience, so I'm just gonna put like down here, having experience getting them results. So there's a number of ways to give them results. Like you can build them an email list, run Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Twitter ads, do Google AdWords, just like things like that, just to give them like a number. So texting them and calling them like, hey, we just reached 5,000 people with this ad is a really good way to just be like, let them give them like that, like deep breath, like, okay, he's working, he's giving me results. So things like that. So another way of keeping the clients is just making sure that stepping in their shoes. This is what I feel is the best. Stepping into their shoes. So what I mean by that is no one, like nowadays people are understanding it more, but like really no one really knows what you're doing. So like what I like to do is I like to step in their shoes and like walk them along, like just walk them as like baby them along just so they understand what I'm doing. So like giving them like focusing, like just walking them through it. I feel like walking them through is one of the biggest parts, because you want to be able to like using like advanced terms advanced terms and like in-depth like analytics, and just like if you have like a big client, maybe like you can use that. But like if you have just like a nearby local business like chiropractor, restaurant, they're not going to understand what these advanced terms like in-depth analytics and just like advanced keywords, SEMN, like just like SEO and just like advanced stuff like that. They're not going to know what that is. So you have to understand how to speak that language to them, like as if they're like 8 years old. So like that's just another part. So like those are just like a couple ways, just a quick tips about like just how to make sure that you can keep them. Like I'm sure if you're if you have a client, you understand, but if you don't have a client, just understand that these are going to be huge. So just make sure you know what you're doing. That's the biggest part. Just know what you're doing, and make sure you just step in their shoes, and like imagine if you were in their shoes, how would you want your social media guy to talk to you? You know what I mean? So that's all I got for today. So I hope this helps you. If you have any other questions, just comment below. If you liked it, give it a like. If you loved it and you want to have more video, like more in-depth videos on SMMA, just subscribe to my channel. And yeah, I post roughly every day. So yeah, so I hope everyone has a fantastic rest of your day. Just know if you go out there and take action and keep grinding, one day you'll get it. So I just want to leave that with you guys. So peace. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Peace.